Hey folks, and all be all here, and it's been a while since we've put out a video, so I'm decided to go ahead and make one. It's been quite busy for me personally over the last few weeks. My parents are actually visiting. I live in the U.S. My parents are visiting from India after 3 years, so they'll be here for 4 months. So I'm really looking forward to this whole the next few months. So I might cut back on some of my videos over the next few weeks, or probably even the next 2 or 3 months, just to spend a little more time over there with family. Pretty much the only time I make videos these days now is either if I'm doing collabs with Zareth or the Gambit crew, or if there's a viewer who reaches out to me saying that they follow my stuff and all that I'm matched up with, then I make the video just for them, just so that they get a chance to see how the defense has performed. So I'll probably cut back even more and take sort of like a little vacation or break from SWGOH content creation for the next few months. I'll still play the game, although probably just in the background and not that seriously. But I probably might take a little break from content creation for a little while. So this might be my last video for a while, barring some collab videos or Gambit roundtable videos that I might do. But I might just take a little bit of a back seat. So this battle that I'm going to be talking about right now, it's against Def 21. This is actually a week 3 battle, so it happened like a week ago. I've recorded the whole video, but just have been delayed getting the commentary for this out there. Def 21 is a viewer of mine, and reached out to me before saying that is really looking forward to the matchup and all that. Uh, Before that video, a brief overview of how I performed in the first match of the week. That was against Bombero. I won that matchup. I was able to clear the board, and I was able to prevent my opponent from clearing 2 zones of mine. My style, as I've seen over the last 1 month of 3v3, my more natural style is to go defense heavy. I typically tend to put 4 or 5 GLs. Usually, I keep 5 GLs on defense, and then try my best to take out the GLs that my opponent has with off meta counters. Lord Vader is the easiest option. For Ray, I typically tend to use the EP Starkiller. For Jedi Master Luke, Darth Revan actually is a good option. But if you don't have that, then a few other options like you've got Dash with Lando and Vandor, which can do a decent job. JMK, I typically also tend to keep 1 GL on offense, either Sith Eternal or Lord Vader, depending on whether my opponent has got a counter to Lord Vader or not. And, the Sith Eternal or Lord Vader is usually used to counter a tough GL like JMK or something else like that. SLKR, you can use JKR, JKL, and Armorer to counter that. And then Sith Eternal, you can probably use Wampa against that. But if you've got an anti-Wampa character like Malik or Treya or Thrawn or something like that, then I would throw a few other strong teams in to take out the side characters first, and then go in with my Wampa to clear it off. So even though it's tougher in 3v3 to get GLs down with off meta counters, it's still possible to a certain extent. And if I see that my opponent has gone GL heavy on defense, then they won't be able to clear me, where I've got like 4 or 5 GLs on defense myself. So which was the case over here. I'd kept 5 GLs on defense, and my opponent, I think, had kept place 2, and I was able to clear it with the off meta counters that I had. Yeah, like here you see Ray hiding at the back, and 3 GLs gas DR in the south, and then JML up north, and JK and Jedi Master Kenobi as well. So they were able to take care of Jedi Master Kenobi, but 5 battles on JML. I'm finding more and more that JML, even though he's terrible to set in 5v5 on defense because he can be taken out so easily by Grievous, in 3v3 he's a pretty decent option, especially if you've exhausted GLs from other counters. JML actually does a pretty decent job over there as well. So I've been keeping him on defense all the time these days. All right, now let's get on to my match with Def 21. He's a really good opponent. He, from the guild Rebel Force Mandalore, has been watching tons of my videos before, and Gambit videos. So he is quite knowledgeable in the game as well. All the GLs, Starkiller, pretty highly relicked as well. Got slightly higher GP than me. I think about 500,000 or 700K more than me. I don't remember. But I went with my usual style, which is heavy defense. So what I did was at the back, at the front over here, I've got Sith Eternal, and I kept Treya with Sith Eternal to prevent the Wampa counter, because Wampa can't counter when he's got Isolate on him. And then I've kept Rey over here. I've kept Gas, CLS, and Darth Revan down south. So 2 GLs and 3 tough teams down there. Up north, I've kept 2 more GLs, JML and JMK, and then 3 other teams, reasonably tough teams. And then down south, I have at the back, I did not hide any GL at the back right now. I think I just kept 4 GLs on defense in this case. And for ships, I usually like to keep these 3 on ships, especially now that my own first order fleet is more capable of taking out at least 2-shotting, if not 1-shotting the executor fleet. And I've got my own Empire fleet, as well as my Rebel fleet is capable of taking out the other 2 ships. So I typically tend to go with Executor, Malevolence, and Negotiator on defense. If I want to make it really, really tough, then I would replace Malevolence with Empire, and that would make it, in my opinion, make it the toughest fleet zone to take out. But otherwise, I think these 3 typically tend to give problems to people to take out. All right, now let's go ahead and get started with with taking a look at my opponent. They kept Rey with Barris and L3, which is a reasonably tough comp. Especially it gives problems to EPSK, EP and Starkiller. But that is that's definitely something tricky that I'll have to face up north. Rest of the teams don't look that bad. And then down south, we have we've got EPSK, we've got Dash with the Han and Chewie, which could be tricky. We've got CLS, we've got Qui-Gon Jinn, and we have the Shakti with Arc and Echo as well. So that's going to be interesting. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we need to do to clear the bottom zone first. So first I decided to go against the CLS squad. This is my standard counter that I take against CLS. I usually do a tenacity check on 3PO and Chewie, but I have my Rey modded for tons of potency. So that typically ensures that the debuffs land. Always hide everyone except for BB-8, leave BB-8 out in the open. And then once Luke changes his stance, I do the stun ability because his tenacity is lower at that time. And then you'll be able to control the battle better. Keep 3PO and Chewie in check because you don't want him assisting, you don't want him using the cleanse ability, all of that. Keep hiding everyone except for R2-D2. And the good thing about R2-D2 is he heals up if he evades, and he's got foresight, and Luke can't prevent the he can't hit through the foresight. So it typically tends to heal up BB-8 when he gets a chance. All right, so that is the first battle. Let's go ahead to the next one. Now for this one, I decided to do a mirror match. Now EPSK, there are ways to counter him by using CLS, for example, by using other teams to knock down one character and clean it up. But I felt I had the faster Mara Jade, so I felt that might be a better way to clean up. And of course, now we've got the first order TIE pilot. I've just put the Omicron on him, so that is another option to take out EP, Starkiller, and Mara Jade. But I figured, with the faster Mara Jade, I should be able to control the battle. I've done the mirror before when I was faster, so I felt this was a reasonably safe bet. Now, you start first. You basically, it depends on how many debuffs you land. And over here you see, I landed 3 debuffs, and my opponent landed 4, and then her Mara went faster, and they started the turn meter train. So this was something totally unexpected. I didn't figure that I would lose after my Mara being faster over here. But as you can see over here, it's a big problem because they've already cleansed, and I won't be able to apply debuffs anymore. By the time Amara gets the second term, I applied a few debuffs, but they've already got that turn meter train rolling, and I don't have much to go on right now. So at this point, I'm trying to do what I can to push that turn meter back, try to see if I can. I won't be able to land stuns, but at least if I can, start my assist train going. He's already at 75 stacks. Mine is only at 40 stacks. So if I can get the train going fast, then I might be able to, outspeed him. But there's no chance of that now. You can see he's already at 95 stacks, and I'm at only 64 stacks. So it's going to be problematic right now. These guys are really tanky, and it's he's already got his ultimate. He's got his ship down, and he's able to take everyone out. So I had to exit out of that battle. That was completely unexpected for me. But that's something new I learned this time, that mirrors don't always work, even if your Mara Jade is faster. Now, one of the best counters to Dash team is the Qui-Gon Jinn. Dash team has got tons of turn meter generation, tons of damage, days, and all of that. But as long as Jedi Knight Anakin is not the one getting stunned by Han, I think this is a very clean counter for an easy 54. Now, this is another thing which has got a high success rate on swgoh.gg, which is Newt versus Qui-Gon Jinn. And, this Newt squad, they've got multiple lives. Django has got damage immunity. You've got multiple stacks on B1, and Newt has got a couple of lives as well. So these guys are pretty survivable. And, as long as the goal is to kill Qui-Gon Jinn as soon as you can, and then land, if you can already land an extortion on Jedi Knight Anakin, that will help. You can see over here, I almost got Jedi Knight Anakin down, and then I applied extortion on him, and with that I was able to get him down. Now there's only Ki-Adi-Mundi left, and Ki-Adi-Mundi makes the stream so much trickier. You can see over here, the danger is gone. There's no Qui-Gon Jinn, there's no Anakin, but still this guy is so tough to take out. Look at that, he just one-shot my Django, and then without Django in there, there's really nothing much that these guys can do to take it out. So this was another team that I thought was a sure shot counter, sure shot easy counter. A lot of people prefer to put Mace in there. So if Mace is there, it's actually a much easier battle because you can take out Qui-Gon Jinn and Anakin pretty easily. But with Ki-Adi-Mundi in there, especially a highly relic Ki-Adi-Mundi, it becomes extremely tough to take out this guy. And you can see over here, I ended up wasting quite a few battles over here, and I just wasn't able to get him down. He got into yellow health, and if Django was alive, he would have probably taken care of it. And red health now, but now he's one-shot my Newt, and there's no way that I can get him down. So this was a very unfortunate, multi-shot, because I almost had the battle down over here. I had him down to red health, but it's just such a tough team on defense. So I'm going to be definitely placing that team on defense a little more frequently. Now, Shakti, Padme, this is an assist-based team, and any assist-based team, Padme does really wonderful against, whether it's anything with B1, for example, any separatist squad with B1, anything with Echo in there. Shakti calls for tons of assists as well. All of that stuff is great for Padme team to go against. So courage really builds up pretty fast in this team, and you can take out characters pretty fast in this. Shakti is the priority because there's no other taunting tank over here, and once you take Shakti out, these guys are not going to get retribution or healing anymore. So that becomes a very simple job for the rest of the team to take out. I typically tend to like using Wrecker over here. A lot of people like using Mace, but I use the other three Bad Batch characters together, Hunter, Tech, and Echo. And Wrecker is a great Galactic Republic tank to go in over here, because unlike the other Galactic Republic characters that Padme usually goes under, there's no other way for Padme's team to recover protection, but Wrecker recovers protection on his own. So there's a chance for one additional uh, one additional banner recovery for this team. So instead of 54, you usually tend to go with 55 for teams with Wrecker in there. Now, I decided that since I didn't have anything else good to take out Palp, I decided to go with my um, with my own Vader squad. And these guys are really thick, really, really thick. So I decided to go ahead and start working on them one by one. Started to work on Starkiller, trying to get him down, but didn't have enough damage to get him down. And you can see over here, even though they're not gaining turn meter because of the dots, but these guys still create a lot of problems because they assist, they apply healing immunity, shock. Got to my first ultimate and managed to apply some ability block, which helps. But these guys will still assist. There's nothing to stop that. And my Maul is almost taken out. I think on hindsight, it might have been better to go with 2 tanks over here rather than Maul, because Maul can be used in some other team out here. But you can see over here, these guys have already healed to full. So all the progress that I made in terms of getting these characters down to low health, it was completely reset by the ultimate. If I had 2 tanks, maybe they would have survived more, and I could have lasted a little more. But you can see over here, my Maul got taken out, and my Royal Guard is barely surviving out here. This is one of the main reasons that I decided to get my first order TIE pilot relicked up and give him the Omnicron, just so that and put speed on Hux and all that, just so to ensure that I've got a decent enough counter to this one. And you can see over here, Royal Guard is almost taken out. Healing immunity on Starkiller, but yeah, he's just so resilient. Just not going down. And now I enter my ultimate again. Maybe if I had 2 tanks, I would have probably, probably left with both of them surviving, but that's fine. At least I was able to get it down in the second shot, which is still expensive because this took out 2 really good teams for me. And now I tried to clean up Ki Adi Mandi with rebels, but this guy, even without a leader, he hits so hard, and he just wasn't. I just wasn't able to. I think Wedge Lee just doesn't have enough survivability, so wasn't able to get it down over here. So decided to take in the resistance guys. I didn't want to use anything too expensive over here, although I probably should have, because seeing what is there at the back. But I wanted to see if I can do something cheap, relatively cheap over here. So Daze did get applied, which is good, but this guy still, oh man, he hits so hard. You need something with stun and daze and and tons of damage to take this guy out. So these guys were able to get the job done, but it was expensive. Like 30 banners I lost over here, which is not a good situation to be in. And then at the back, my opponent didn't have any GLs, just has gas in there, and Darth Revan. So Darth Revan, this is typically the solution that I have. I use my troopers in there. Do a basic on Basti first, do a mass assist, hope that your Veers gets a critical hit and gets feared. In this case, he did not get feared, even though I have like 86% crit chance, almost 100% with the unique. But unfortunately, my Piet is the one who got feared, not Veers. But I'm trying to take Malik down, and I've lost a stack over here, but since Malik is already at red health, I was able to take this guy down easy enough. And with a single basic, he is down. So it's been a pretty consistent counter for me. Every time I see DR, Basti, Malik, troopers have always done the job for me. I usually end up losing Piet, but I usually get the job done. Now, I had my SLKR as well that I had budgeted for Ray up north. And SLKR, Hux and Thrawn are a very decent option for for SLKR against any version of Rey. Obviously, Rey can't get fractured, can't get completely stopped by fracture, but she does get slowed down quite a lot. And, you can take that time to work on the other characters. Thrawn got taken out, but I'm in the process of building up my ultimate right now. So I need to take out Barriss as soon as I can because she makes it a problem every time she's in there for anyone to take Rey down. So once Basti's down, I then take out L3, and then it's just a question of timing the ultimate right. I have my SLKR modded for health, so he's doing a decent job being able to survive multiple whirlwinds, and then I just do an ultimate and finish it for 50 banners. So SLKR still does a decent job against almost all variations of Rey, which is why he's great on offense. Against Iden, decided to use Wampa over here. It's pretty straightforward battle. You have got any variation of Wampa. I don't think it should be a problem. And I still have my Wampa, modded for tenacity. So even if the Iden is high potency, it's no problem at all. The double tank version, both Storm and Shore, tends to give some sort of a problem for Wampa. As in, it takes a little bit. There's really not that much of a danger of timing out, but it takes almost a full amount of time, 3 to 4 minutes, to get down. Just because both the tanks, they've got tons of defense, and from their uniques, they've got tons of health regeneration, and there's Iden there to keep them alive as well. So the two tank version, I think, sometimes can tend to get a little tricky, but I've never found a team that Wampa wasn't able to take out, an Iden team, either in 3s or 5s. All right, so still working through this. Takes a while, but all of these dots, they really do a very decent job. There we go. Took out Darth Trooper, Death Trooper, and now it's just a question of getting through Shore. I always prefer keeping Iden on offense. She's such a strong team. She can take out so much on offense that especially if you see that your opponent has a relic or an Omi Wampa, I would prefer to keep Iden on offense in those situations. So you can see over here, 2 minutes already done, and Shore is reviving quite a few times. There you see, she's giving him tons of regeneration, the revive ability and all of that. So if there was a second tank in there, Stormtrooper, then both of them would be reviving quite a lot, and it could be problematic. All right, there you go. I think this is the shot which kills Wampa, and once Wampa is done, the Iden falls pretty conveniently. There we go. Okay, so this team is down. Now, next we go for... Oh yeah, I failed with Gas initially. I think I took Bam, Han, Chewie against Gas, and I failed on my first attempt because I made one mistake. When Gas was down, I should have gone after Rex, killed him, and then when 5 Savior was triggered, killed Rex again. I made a mistake and went after 5s, and then Gas stood up and took my whole team down. But when he went down again, I was able to get Rex down. But I won't make that mistake again. Always whenever you're using Bam, Han, Chewie, be sure to get Rex down first, or get Rex down twice, because that's a much easier thing to do. I've heard that Iden also does a decent job against Skywalker, especially if you have tanks. But you need your tanks to taunt initially. In this particular case, wasn't able to taunt fast enough. Once your stormtrooper taunts, I think you are more safe. But in this case, I could not get the taunt over here. I think it might have been better if I'd gone with two tanks over here, like Shore and this one. Shore would have been, taunting right at the beginning, pre-taunt. That would have given me enough time for Storm to also, tank things. And these guys would have done damage through exposures and all that, and through Iden's basic. So I think that might have done a more decent job against Gas. In this case, I was able to take Rex out, but no dice against General Skywalker. So I need to clean that up with something a little later. Then I decided to go ahead with, I believe, Night Sisters against Grievous, which is a pretty straightforward thing in 3v3, especially if you've got Daka and Zombie to spare. Should be no problem at all. And here you can see you just need to spread plague as much as you can, and pray that Daka is not the one who gets stunned by Grievous. You can see over here lots of target lock, lots of buff immunity, which is not good actually. You need a Zombie to be out of buff immunity. But you can see over here, I'm trying to get Zombie to taunt, but she's got, the only way she's getting rid of the buff immunity right now is through dying. So Talzin died a couple of times, and my Zombie did a decent job of keeping the taunt on her. And now once Plague lands and then once Stun lands, it's a pretty easy job. You get everyone back and then just keep him stunned, and then just keep using basic with Daka and prevent him from going anymore. So pretty reliable counter. I believe it's at 95% or something like that on GG against this particular Grievous comp. All right, 54, that's par for this particular team. And then what do I do? Yes, then I decide to go up against the Maul team. And here I believe I took the dash comp. This is something I learned from Zareth. I think there are a few people who are talking about this on the Discord server. It's a pretty good comp. You've got dash, who goes really fast, applies daze on everyone, and the daze is really important to land on Maul as well. And then you assist with Kira and take out Canderous, and then one big hit to take out Maul, and then it's a pretty simple job cleaning up the other characters. So I've been using I've got Lando under Relic right now, and especially if you already have an Omi dash, this can take out pretty tough teams out there. So I've been pretty happy with this particular comp. I've been using it quite a lot on offense for the last few weeks. Against the Talon squad with Dooku and Nest, decided to use my JKR. The rest of these battles, have to be one shots, because I've already lost too many battles. Even the gas battle, that was unnecessary. I probably should have one shot it, but made too many mistakes out there. So I'm trying to be as efficient as I can. This is a pretty straightforward battle. You just take out Talon and then keep reducing Nest's max health, and within a couple of turns I think you should be able to get the job done. Yeah, Nest is a little irritating, especially against buff-based teams, but JKR lead does a decent job of reducing Nest's max health. And there you go, 55. Still a good banner stripping team. The Finn Bros, I think I end up using Bad Batch over here. All stuns land, which is great. Now you just have to get the defense up, or just start targeting them with basics. First thing is to take out Finn, and get as many exposures as you can to take him out, and then once he's out, then it's not a big deal. You just take out Resistance Hero Poe and then work on Finn at your leisure. There you go. Poe is out. And now I just need to finish off this character. So this team has been solved. I remember when Finn Poe used to be a pretty gnarly team when we had lack of options, but now you've got plenty of options to take this out. People used to go in with Han and Chewie, but you no longer need that. You can do it with lesser teams as well. Against the Inquisitor squad, I think I used something. Did I use Phasma? Yep, I decided to use my first order type pilot. So I used Phasma, first order type pilot with the Omicron in there, and crew. I think this is the first or second time I was using the Omicron, so wanted to make sure that I get used to it. Now Phasma lead is great because you gain tons of turn meter because you keep getting advantage, and there's turn meter generation with Phasma's unique, so there's tons of synergy that Phasma lead has with first order type pilot. That being said, I think Hux is a superior lead for first order TIE pilot, especially if Red is also in there, Red Trooper, then tons of good damage gets done over there. Huxley doesn't really start with advantage, unlike well, actually they do start with advantage, yeah. But yeah, the combination of dominance, which gives extra critical damage and extra offense, I think that's really great for this particular team. Here, I don't know why I was going after second sister first. I think I should have gone after the seventh sister first because she was more weaker. So I think that would have been a much easier thing to do, to take her out first, like I did now, and then to go after this one next. So this team is really tanky, really tons of damage and tons of fun to play with. So I intend to use it more often. Pretty simple, full 57 banners. So Phasma lead or Hux lead, I think those are all good options to use for that team. All right, clear the top zone, see the ships. I see Executor and a couple of other, the Tarkin fleet and the Raddus fleet as well. So let's go ahead and clear the bottom zone. And for this one, I went with, for the Newt squad, I went with Bounty Hunters because, I had all of them available. Saving Fennec for Lord Vader, but there's no Lord Vader in here, so decided to use it against this squad. It's very easy to get contract with this Newt lineup just because there's no tank in there. B1 is the weakest, and if you've got multiple assist characters or people who do multiple attacks like Fennec in there, it's extremely easy to get contract. In fact, I could have didn't need Grief in there. I could have probably gone with Mando for the quick contract and execute, because if I had my Mando, I would have executed Django by now. But yeah, I probably didn't need Grief in there. Yeah, because these guys go fast, and Mando is just so good to neutralize these threats at an early enough stage. So you can see over here, because of the damage reduction that I'm having due to extortion, I'm not really able to take out Django that fast. And I almost lost my R7 Fennec in here. Look at that. That was really problematic. Good thing I had Grief to heal up. But then, I think Mando would have been a much better choice. Even though Grief had that heal, this is not a sustained team. This is a team that you need to snipe the danger character ASAP. So if I had Mando in there, I think that would have been a much better option than Grief. And you can see over here, I've got tons left on offense. I don't know why I was being so cheap to go against gas. I could have just used my Jedi, like JKL. That does decently versus gas as well. but this is sort of like an overkill. So I lost a lot of battles trying to get cheap, both in the front as well as in the back zone with gas, because I'm really not used to playing efficiency games. I prefer a game which you clear at all costs, and it doesn't matter how you do on efficiency. So pretty easy cleanup, but by now the damage has been done. I've already lost multiple battles over here. Now I just need to clear up fleets, and then we are done. My opponent is still not attacked at this stage. So let's go with the fleets. Now, since this is the all attacker version of the executive fleet, I decide to go with my rebels to one-shot them. And with the rebels, basically you start with Biggs and Biston and try to take things down. Try to take um, the IG ship, IG 2000 ship, as soon as you can. That's pretty critical. Um, Once you get that ship down, then you need to focus on the other ships. So that was down. Now here you need to do the wiggle. So I did the wiggle over here. That was a mistake I'd made last time. I remember that I did this battle. And it really helps over here if the Xanadu blood is faster than your home one. In this case, it wasn't, which means I wasn't able to target the Xanadu blood from my mass assist, which is problematic. I was able to get one savior on the Mando ship, but I don't have a tank right now, and I need to. And I'm already come down to one ship, so things are not looking that great. But I call in Cassian's U-wing to try to at least snipe down a couple of other ships. So Xanadu blood is gone, and now I wriggle, but that wriggle probably cost me because what ended up happening was the enemy ship went and healed up the Xanadu blood quite a lot. If maybe I hadn't wriggled and directly gone for the Xanadu for the Razor Crest, I probably might have taken that ship out if I'd got a lucky assist. But no telling how it would have gone. Now I'm down back to my only my Hans Millennium Falcon. I get the tank back in and try to get these Razor Crests down. But again, these guys are taking out my other ships one by one, and I've got and things are not looking that great for me. So this ship battle again got Razor Crest in the red. Decided to do an AU and take him out because this is definitely not going to be a one shot, but it's going to be an easy cleanup with only those two ships left in there. I always keep Wedge as a backup whenever I face Houndstooth just because it comes in and applies healing immunity and buff immunity. In this case, that didn't really help. And let's see if we can take out Boba as well. Probably not. Yeah, and at this stage, it's a lost cause. Okay, so we'll clean that up. It's pretty easy to clean up, no problem at all. Let's take care of the other two battles. Now, let's see. Against the Empire fleet, I decided to do a mirror over here. And I think I took in my own Tarkin fleet. Now, in a mirror situation, I always prefer to go with TIE Fighter Pilot because my ship will be the fastest and will probably ensure that I go first, especially since my fleet is going to get tons of turn meter. In this particular case, I went first because I had Tarkin, the opponent had Chimera, and my Tarkin fleet is faster. Well, actually, they also have Tarkin. Got it. Okay, so they also went first, got their reinforcement in. They took care of my TIE Fighter Pilot, which is not good to see. I'm trying to get rid of the Vader over there. Did that. Now I need to get the other ships out. Things are not looking that great, but Tarkin fleets have got tons of damage and tons of turn meter generation. Now I lost my ship, the Inquisitor ship, to burning, And look at that. I'm almost out as well. So it's not looking too healthy for me. Decided to get in my gauntlet to heal up a little bit. Maybe I should have gotten the Emperor's Shuttle because that heals up health as well, which would have been really useful to have on my other ship. Things are not looking that great, but I was able to get down the second sister. Yeah, that's the problem with Empire fleets is that they do, especially Empire mirrors, they are so bad on banners. Oh my God, just terrible. Anyway, now we are down to the Radus fleet and then the the executive fleet cleanup. So for Radus, I usually tend to go with mirrors. They usually tend to do a decent job. The priority is to take down Rose's ship as soon as possible. The tank, the fortress. Um, I like to save my heal for when my people are low. But yeah, so over here, I like to go with the Ray's Millennium Falcon in the starting lineup apart from Poe because when the Resistance pilot ship reinforces, it tends to assist on every turn, which is quite useful to have. So I get all my resistance ships in as soon as possible. That's extremely key because you need to keep doing the specials. Get the fortress down. The bad thing about keeping the Radis fleet on defense is that Clone Sergeant comes out rather than the Resistance pilot. So you have a better chance of reaching your ultimate first in these kind of situations. Because Clone Sergeant naturally has got a higher priority for reinforcement as opposed to the Resistance pilot. So I would advise if you're keeping the Resistance fleet on defense, not to keep Clone Sergeant in there if you're trying to get to an ultimate fast. Um, so here I lost my post ship, but I am about to get to my ultimate in the very next turn. But it did its job. I mean the resistance ship did its job. It did it stole tons of banners from me and got rid of a couple of my ships. So now I've reached my ultimate. I just need to take the rest of these ships out, and then I think I'll be in a much better situation. Do the big hit. And take out Poe, and then we just need to take out Ray and the final resistance ship. Apply some days over there because Ray's ship tends to do a lot of countering, which is not really good. There you go. Not great banners, but at least it's a reliable mirror. I've never lost in a Radis mirror. And now to clean up the final ship, I have my own first order, which can do a pretty decent job in the cleanup. Now, obviously, I'll be using my first order right away in the beginning to get the battle done. So this cleanup is really not much of an issue. I'll fast forward a little bit of this, and yeah, it's one. You basically just stack damage over here, and essentially one shot the ship when you get a chance. Okay, so this cleanup was a little messy, but it got it done for 47 banners. So I ended up with 1925, which is not great banners at all, especially going efficiency. And I knew that my opponent would be able to clear me, but I thought that they might drop more battles, but they did a really good job. Def 21 did a really good job against my defense, even though I had like what 4 GLs and gas and DR and a few tricky teams at the back as well, and tough ships. They did a pretty decent job on my defense and beat me by about 40 banners or so. So all those drop battles were problematic. They did drop one on my gas in the front, and let's see, at the back, I think they dropped, no, they did not drop anything over here. It was all one shots. and then one shots at the top as well. And I think they did drop one other battle on my ships as well. Oh, three shot on my JML. That was interesting to see. I don't remember exactly what they took against JML, but it they mentioned that they almost timed out against. I think they tried a mirror first. They lost the first time. JML was in red health. They tried a couple of other teams and finally were able to get it down on the third attempt. So, but Def was saying that he almost wasn't able to clear the JML squad. And then a couple of battles on the Executor, and they were able to take it out. So pretty decent job against my defense, 1925 versus 1967. You know, no matter one thing I've noticed in 3v3, no matter how many GLs I put down on defense, 4 GLs, 5 GLs, Starkiller, gas, all of that stuff, it almost always comes down to an efficiency match. This week, for example, the very first match, I put down 5 GLs on defense, 5 GLs, as well as Executor and Malevolence, Negotiator, and my opponent beat me with 5 banners. It became an efficiency match. I one-shot the board, but my opponent beat me with 5 banners to spare, which was really tough to see, just because they saved everything on offense. So that's something which it's I think probably a weak point for me is it feels like no matter how many GLs I put on defense, no matter how tough of a defense I put, if my opponent, seeing my history, if they decide to go offense heavy, then they're able to do a decent job against my defenses and win on efficiency. So that's something which I really haven't been able to figure out in 3v3. It's more comfortable for me in 5v5 just because off-meta counters exist more, and I'm somehow able to do a better job in 5v5. But in 3v3, I think I need to change my natural game style to save more GLs on offense and be more offense heavy. I think that will get me more success in 3v3. Anyway, that's all for this season of 3v3. I will hopefully make a few videos now and then, but for the next few months, no guarantee since I'll be doing tons of traveling as well. But I hope to catch you guys soon. Hope you all have enjoy your summers and manage to take a break and recharge. And I will catch you guys later. Take care and happy gaming.